Michael Carrick at the wheel, eh? Not going too badly.
He's been fantastic so far, hasn't he? He's been doing really well.
Has it surprised you?
No, it hasn't. Carroll's has always been calm off the pitch, on the pitch, and you know, I think the way that he's gone in and influenced the players, his staff, he's got great staff with him alongside him. So, you know, he's done a fantastic job so far, but there's so much more for him to do.
What about his football decision making so far?
I think it's been a great decision for him to obviously change the formation, get the players in a system where, you know, it looks like they're more on the front foot and you know, they're creating more in the games. So, you know, I think we saw at Arsenal the other weekend that, you know, they gave up possession and, you know, let Arsenal have possession, but, you know, they hit them on the counter-attack. And
breaking news, and it comes from Manchester United, who have reached an agreement in principle over a new 5-year contract. A deal is in the final stages of negotiation and set to be signed by the more lucrative offers from England and abroad to stay at Manchester United.
Well, this is why I said what I said, because we played sometime in games like that, and the Premier League sometimes will give you a game like that. But what I like about what he said, and Jamie was mentioning it at the end, and we were talking about it, so many times they were not patient enough on the ball. Every time they put the ball down and they tried to make 3 to 4 passes to go on the right and on the left, they did open, but they didn't do it very often. I don't know why. Obviously the crowd, they got bullied at times. They were over them, but you know, I think they got away with one tonight, Liverpool. But look, that's how it is. It reminds me of, you know, the other day when Arsenal won at Man United. People were talking more about Man United than Arsenal. Same thing tonight, but they managed to find a way to win it.
Through strength, like he said?
I'm not sure. I mean, you mentioned the duels in the first half. I thought Liverpool lost a lot of duels in the first half. And in some ways, people always say the best way to win is with a last-minute winner. Of course, everybody knows that. But in some ways, the way Liverpool won is almost the worst way to win, taking away the last-minute goal. But in terms of, like, you're being dominated, you've 10 men, you're hanging...
Finish third. I really do think they could finish third. And I think I said a couple of weeks, I thought Villa might just get pulled back a little bit. Like I say, these teams have got European football in front of them. And that's a big distraction. And Manchester United don't have that. And I think they're in a decent place. You look at the players out there, they go over to celebrate tonight, look like they're in a decent sort of mood. They're winning when they play well, they're winning when they don't play well, they're picking up points when they didn't play well at West Ham. So all of the right things are starting to happen. They've hit a really good run. I do think they'll finish third or fourth. I mean, I've probably said at times in this last 3 months, Manchester United have no chance of finishing the Champions League. But this is just a bizarre season. Teams are dropping points. Chelsea dropped points against Burnley on Saturday. Villa dropped points. Liverpool obviously did win in the end. But yeah, I think United get there now, and you know, that'll be a sort of big move in terms of where they were last season. I think it'll be a big move to get into Champions League football, and where they were a few weeks ago, obviously when they...
The football world has been rocked after Thierry Henry delivered a fierce and uncompromising critique of modern officiating and the controversial use of the video assistant referee, VAR. The former Arsenal FC striker, widely respected for both his playing career and his analytical insight, questioned whether the introduction of technology has truly improved the game or slowly chipped away at its essence. Henry's concerns reflect a growing frustration across the sport. Originally introduced to correct, clear and obvious errors, VAR was meant to bring fairness and accuracy to crucial decisions. Instead, it has often generated fresh controversy. From marginal offside calls decided by millimeters to debatable handball interpretations, competitions such as the Premier League and the UEFA Champions League have seen matches overshadowed by prolonged reviews and disputed rulings. Celebrations are paused, momentum is disrupted, and emotional highs are replaced by anxious waits. Henry argued that football's beauty lies in its spontaneity, the roar of the crowd, the split-second drama, the raw human element. In his view, excessive reliance on technology risks turning a fluid sport into a series of forensic examinations. The reaction to Henry's comments has been swift and divided. Some managers and former players agree that VAR has created more confusion than clarity. They point to inconsistent applications of rules and the lack of transparency in decision-making processes. Supporters of VAR, however, insist the system has corrected countless injustices. They argue that while the implementation may need refining, abandoning technology altogether would be a step backward. Football, they say, must evolve with the times. At the heart of the debate is trust. Repeated controversies have eroded confidence in officiating standards, and each high-profile error fuels further skepticism. For many fans, The question is no longer whether VAR works, but whether it is being used effectively. Former referees' intervention adds weight to calls for reform rather than removal. Suggestions have included clearer communication from referees, time limits on reviews, and revisiting how subjective decisions are interpreted. Football has always evolved, from goal line technology to tactical innovations. But the challenge lies in balancing progress with tradition. As the sport navigates this technological era, it must ensure that accuracy does not come at the cost of authenticity.